Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. My name is Jimmy Good, and I am your host and moderator. But joining me this week is my go-to podcast compadre, Mr. Joe Lever. Joe, how are you today, my friend?
Hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet to go over everything.
No.
I must have called 1,000 times.
Yep, this is just gonna be Joe singing.
Hello from the other side, Jimmy.
Halo from the other side. Anyway. Welcome, Joe, and welcome to all of our Legionnaires, and to anybody joining us for the very first time. We talk about movies, games, TV shows, all the things we love so very, very much.
In the cookbooks.
We don't talk about cookbooks, Joe. It's false advertising. You're going to hurt people. If they're coming here to listen to about cookbook talk and chatter. They're not going to get it. We did have a little bit of not necessarily a correction, maybe more of a clarification, but one of our fans, one of the Legionnaires, he wrote into us about game development. And I kind of wanted to read this off to you, Joe. There's a few paragraphs here. I'll kind of, break it up a little bit, but I wanted to hear your thoughts and maybe talk about it from last week, because we talked about, we didn't know game development, what the costs are for it now. It's some fascinating things in here. So this is from our friend Brian. He says, just on the cost of game development, it is absolutely more expensive to develop a game than it's ever been. Just to give a quick example of AAA games in particular, in 2008, Ubisoft estimated that the average cost of developing all versions of their biggest games for all three major platforms, so Xbox 360, PS3, and PC, was between about $18 to $28 million. That's almost triple what it was in 2002, where the average cost was estimated to be about $5 to $9 million. By 2016, that number had grown to an average of anywhere between $35 to $45 million, and these costs are very likely to only further increase as publishers continue to push for higher fidelity graphics, bigger and more detailed environments, more advanced AI, and of course, more staff to make that all possible. Note that all these are strictly development costs and does not take into account marketing, which is the main part of the budget for the biggest of the big. For example, Call of Duty World War II is said to have cost $50 million to develop, with an additional $200 million being spent on marketing. So there we go right there. That's the first kind of chunk of it. I thought that was really fascinating to kind of see like the development costs going up and up. And then you look at, like he said, Call of Duty World War II taking and quadrupling that development budget for marketing comparatively to like movies, when typically it's like double, Joe, when we're kind of like, oh, if this movie costs like 150 million to make, it's like another 150 for marketing. It's like, does that surprise you at all?
You mean that Call of Duty took that route?
No, not that Call of Duty took that route. Like that, it costs potentially that much, or you spend like for that one, they're spending quadruple of that development budget to be like, hey guys, look, it's Call of Duty, we're back. Like, Like,
four times the budget, 4 times the development budget for marketing. Why is marketing that expensive? That seems absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I don't know if it's that expensive. I think it's just that they go all out with it, because every year they're coming out with another one, and they kind of are like globally saturating everhere to say like, hey, another Call of Duty game is here. It's brand new. Yeah. Look at it. See it.
Well, and the thing with them is that, the money's there. It's not really a big deal for them. And it probably, did it help them out a whole lot? I mean, they know they're going to make all that back and then some, so good on them, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's a cash cow sort of thing. You find the one that works and, kind of work with it.
Probably not necessary.
Yeah, probably not, but they still do it anyway because it gets results, That's why they're still around, maybe. It's because they're like, we just put it, they're just like, hey, we have extra money, or we're going to spend the money to make sure that we're still in the minds of gamers and all the other people who aren't necessarily aware of what we're doing, especially with World War II, kind of going back to the basic, the roots and stuff.
Yeah.
Next part, this is where it gets really fun. Where it gets a little more complicated is that most of the big publishers are also simply putting out far less games than they used to. To use EA and Ubisoft as examples, in 2008, they published 38 games and 34 games respectively, whereas in 2017, they published a total of 7 and 10 games respectively. While you might think less games mean less profits, the sales of digital goods, i.e. the dreaded loot boxes, etc., is up around 280% from where it was in 2012, with EA reported to have made $1 billion through the sale of digital goods in 2016, with 800 million of that coming exclusively from its Ultimate Team mode in the FIFA series. So that just goes to show not only Call of Duty, but you're looking at another titan that, maybe you and I don't think about too much, Joe, but FIFA making that much money on like digital sales as far as like within in-game stuff. Like it's not like they're buying, like people are buying the game again and again and again. It's like they're buying things within the game. So those microtransactions and things like that, that is insane to me. Like that just goes to show that like even though we might hate it, there's obviously money in it, especially for these bigger titles, like Call of Duty, like FIFA, like stuff like that,
Yeah.
Again, not super surprising, but like that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, Um,
Yeah, that is insane. FIFA surprisingly is what some of their streamers that stream FIFA only, or like they're the pro FIFA players or whatever, and they make the most money out of any streamer there is. Apparently, it's that popular. I don't know.
Yeah, FIFA coming to a critical review stream near you soon. I'm just kidding. Probably will never play FIFA. I'm sorry, FIFA. I'm sorry. It's not you, it's me. But yeah, it's just because, another thing too, Joe, maybe we'd get this more if we weren't in the States, because I know soccer is much bigger, or football is much bigger outside of the US. And maybe if we were in other countries, it'd be like, yeah, we love football. We want to play that game. That's why Madden does super well still too. But that is crazy to me. Like 800 million of that. Oh my gosh. All right. Anyway. Last bit here. So while the cost of development per game has increased significantly, earnings reports from EA, for example, show that their total cost of development actually peaked in 2009 at around $1.8 billion for the year, whereas in 2016, that figure was between 1 to 1.1 billion. So overall, what they're actually spending on development per year has reduced significantly. Of course, it's important to note that that not all publishers are EA, a Ubisoft, or an Activision Blizzard, and are not as reliant on additional monetization through only a handful of games. Most publishers still rely almost entirely on the sales of their games to make a profit, and so the margins remain much tighter, as they're simply developing more games in the first place. I thought that was pretty interesting. Like, like we said, we were talking about the development costs, and I kind of had to read through these things a few times, and he kind of made another clarification, because I was like, okay, so it seems like the cost of the games, like they're more to make now than ever, the development costs, but they're making far fewer, and they're getting more money from it because they found different ways to monetize it. So they don't need to make like 40 games now; they can make like 5 to 10, and they can just you found your prize cows, and you're like, just make those. And they're like, well, we could have like 40 just okay cows, and they're like, no, just those, like just those 3 or 4, like bring them in every year, doing that sort of thing. He also said that there are some companies like Bethesda, Capcom, Square Enix, and Sega who are not on about having kind of games as a service, like that we're seeing like with EA. Like a lot of these guys, like these kind of games are coming back to daily, and you're kind of putting money into still after they've been launched. So those ones are still making like 10 to 15 games a year, whereas like EA, like we said, is not making as many. But I thought it was fascinating. It was worth talking about, because I thought, wow, that's really cool. And like, as a business, because again, like we always talk about with games and movies and TV, it's always a business. Don't forget that. Like, as much as you love these things, they're around because they do make money.
Cash
like
is king.
Cash is king. And we'll talk about Star Wars a little bit later, but like if they can find a way to make money off of you and off of these franchises that you love so very much, and they can get away with it, then they'll do it. The problem is that we're starting to see, I think, with EA, is that with Star Wars, they have such a vehement fan base that you start doing this stuff and these guys will fight back. Whereas like maybe in these sports games, it's a little more accepted, or they just don't maybe care as much because they're like, I just got to put a little bit more money into it. And I just expect that to happen. I don't know, Joe, what do you think? Do you think that like the sports fans are not as, lax as I think they are? Do you think that they kind of are bothered by this as much as we are?
Bothered by what?
The fact that they're getting monetization, like kind of like the microtransactions and all that stuff in their games.
Yeah, I don't know, to a certain degree. I mean, that stuff has never bugged me personally that much. I mean, a little bit of it is okay. Like Destiny has some of it for cosmetic items and whatnot. But I don't know. I don't know. Do I think they're bugged by it as much? I mean, if they're hardcore gamers, then yeah, probably, because that crowd seems to be seems to struggle with it the most, or meet it with the most resistance. But the sports fans, with EA's games, with FIFA, Madden, it's a different crowd. I think they're in it for something else, and they kind of. I just don't think the microtransactions are that big of an impact on them.
Yeah.
But,
Well, obviously they're still selling super well because like NBA 2K18 was like still one of those big names, and Madden was up there too. And it's just like these games are like they consistently seem to be in like the highest selling games. So if it was a big enough problem, like you think people would be like, we're not playing it. Like, I'm not gonna play it. So clearly it's
yeah.
still working for them. And if it keeps working for a business and they're making money, they're not gonna stop. So unless there's Star Wars stuff, then they're like, oh, like because those Star Wars fans, they get angry. Anyway, let's talk about some other news, Joe. Something you might be interested in. We got a new Venom poster today with a trailer due out tomorrow, which kind of kills me because I would absolutely love to like go over like moment by moment a Venom trailer with you.
Tomorrow.
Due out tomorrow, and it's really cool. This poster, if you haven't seen it, it's great. It's just a full black kind of poster with like these big white Venom eyes, and it can almost stand alone without having the word Venom on it at all. It just looks so striking. We don't really need to get into it too much. It's like the Venom symbiote eyes on a black poster, but it's cool, and I'm excited to see what's coming out from that. So we'll see if we get any of that Tom Holland in there, with Tom Hardy, if that's kind of confirmed or not confirmed. But either way, we'll be talking Venom next week, so everybody just hold on. It's coming. You know us. We talk about Venom. Seems like either Venom
Hardy, sorry to interrupt you. Tom Hardy is weird.
What do you mean he's weird?
I don't know. I watched a video of him talking to people in South America or something, and it was regarding Venom. Like there was like a stadium full of Venom fans, and he was supposed to be there, but they were shooting up in Vancouver or something, and the weather shut down his flight, so he was there via like a Skype call, basically. But I forget, they were like, there was some T-shirt with Venom on it and all that they were handing out, and I think they gave him some little teaser type of deal. Either way, when he talks, I'm like, because I think the only movie I've ever seen him in is Mad Max.
You've seen him in Dark Knight Rises, haven't you?
I've seen a bald guy that goes, yes, Batman. That's about all I got. So to hear him talk as a normal person, I'm like, huh.
Yeah, I guess I could see that because he definitely has like some sort of accent, but it's not as pronounced.
I don't know what it is. I can't put a finger on it. I just look at him. I'm like, man, I did not expect that to come out of you.
Yeah.
And for some reason, when I think Tom Hardy, Bane, I didn't expect him to look like that guy.
I know. Well, he's pretty good at transforming himself, and it helps a lot with that mask, I think. But he was bulked up. He was huge, and he was bald. So I mean, he was.
Well, that's what he needs to be for this movie, and he doesn't seem that big to me.
Well, we'll see. I think they're going to add it on because Eddie Brock's supposed to be like a pretty big dude, which I'd say Tom Hardy is. But once we see the suit, on him, he might be, he might be bigger. He just loves playing anything with Venom in it. He's like, give me the Venom juice. Just let me play as Venom. He's all about Venom, man.
But he did talk about that. He said, I love this character. I'm dedicated to this character. I am going to make this as good as I possibly can make it, yada, yada. I hope you love it. He kind of went on about it. He does seem pretty invested in this character, which to have your main actor invested in it, that's a good step in the right direction. So part of the MCU soon, baby.
Yep, exactly. It's going to happen eventually. I think about that, and I think, was there ever a time when Ben Affleck came out in front of a crowd and was like, I cannot wait to be Batman? Or was he always like, yeah, I'm going to be your Batman. Like, I love the character. I love it so much. I love when I get to put on the cowl. I love, what I mean? Like, is he genuine in it? But it seems like
that's my cape.
Yeah, I like to throw the batarang. Guys, I'm not doing this anymore. Right? I'm not doing this anymore. Yeah, but I'm excited. I'm hopeful for it, and let's just see how it goes. Cross our fingers. Once we get to see the trailer, we'll go on from there. But it would be even better if he was like, "We are dedicated to making the best Venom movie," and it's like, "Whoa, Tom's really getting into character there." He just started talking like we, as if the symbiote were with him at all times.
See, so I looked up the poster, and I'm seeing like, I'm sure there's fan renditions of it. Like, this Reddit one, that's for sure fan version. So I'm just seeing the Venom symbiote eyes on a pure black poster, and it says Tom Hardy Venom.
Yep.
October.
Yep.
And then there's another one that is a picture of Venom with his mouth kind of agape, and he's like looking up, and it's kind of dark and all that, and kind of black and white.
Not real. Fan made.
Exactly. But it has the Marvel logo in there, and it's got the little director and all that at the bottom.
Can't trust it. Speaking of other things that are coming out in October, it sounds like Red Dead Redemption 2 just got delayed, Joe. Are we surprised at all?
Really? Was it slated for October?
Or maybe we talked about it was going to be out like March or April, we thought, is what they had said it was going to be. They pushed it like it was to spring 2018 kind of thing.
Geez, Pete. Now I'm depressed.
Well, October 26th, I say let it cook. Let it take. I'm not surprised. We would have heard more about it at this point. I feel like we would have seen some more gameplay or something if it was coming out in March or April.
The past few months they've been like, we've told them March or April.
Exactly.
First quarter and the first quarter. It's not, guys, are we gonna make it or not? Give us till next week and we'll do another assessment and we'll run some projections on where we're gonna be at. We might be able to pull this off, boss. All right, you guys better get it together.
Perfect.
Next week comes, boss, we're not able to do it. We run projections. We're looking at like at least November next year. All right, I'm going to tell everybody October because I can't push it back that far. It's already as bad as it is.
I like to think that somebody somewhere in the team was like, all right, you put it for October. Like I said, 26th. They're like, yep. And they're like, 2018. And the guys are like, I said 2019.
I told this guy 4 years. Not 3.
Yeah.
God.
Well, here's the thing about this game. It's coming out at a very busy time, but it's Grand Theft Auto basically, but in the West. Red Dead Redemption. It's got that
Rockstar Games.
Yeah, it's got that pedigree, and it's not like it's got to worry about when it comes out. It can come out at any time, and it's gonna sell forever because you know what they're gonna do is they're gonna put out this version, and then in a little bit they'll do when they make the next consoles or whatever they do, they'll do the remastered, or they'll do the one that's got all the DLC packaged in with it, or whatever, and they'll just constantly keep selling. Like Grand Theft Auto 5, it's just like that one just is always on the charts for the top 10, and it's like, how are you still there? It's just because they take their time, they make good game, and that's just what's gonna happen. Because I'd say, remember, like I always say, a bad and rushed game is forever bad in the eyes of the public. But you wait a bit, you disappoint some people, you make a great game, you wait a little bit, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
People love it. Yeah. People sell. But I'm not surprised. Like I said, we would have seen something more by now. I'm glad that they're pushing it back because I'd be really scared if we're like, hey, it's coming out like next month. And I'd be like, we have seen very little. Like we saw the trailer, we've seen screenshots and things, but we don't really know how the game is going to function or how the multiplayer or the online or any of that stuff's going to work yet. And that's going to be like, an hour's worth of like, hey, we're doing like in this summer or this spring, maybe they'll kind of do a developer talk where they're kind of like, hey, this is how the online is going to work, because they're going to have to explain all this stuff to people because games are getting more and more complex, and you can't just be like, here's the game, good luck, and people will be like, so do I own a saloon, or is it my hub, or can I take somebody's saloon? Like you gotta give people time.
Take them all. Take them all, Joe.
Own all the saloons, get a monopoly. But yeah,
and
I'm okay
brothels.
with it.
The brothels are yours too.
Yes. So Red Dead, we're getting pushed back to October. I'm not surprised, but there we go. Yeah. Joe, did you ever hear of a little Disney Channel show called Kim Possible?
Yeah.
Call me, beat me, if you want to reach me, if you want to page me, it's okay. Sorry, is it text me, page me? Anyway, Kim Possible. They're making a live action movie about it. I'm stoked. All right, you take.
So we're talking about Mission Impossible only with a chick.
And
okay,
she's a high school student.
That sounded bad.
And it does, yeah. That's oversimplifying her. All right,
yeah.
Okay.
But young woman.
Yes, she's a great young lady, and she's got cool sidekicks, man. She's got Ron. She's got Rufus, which is a naked mole rat. She's got Wade, who is like her controller kind of guy, who's like through the computer and stuff.
The man in the van behind the computer.
He's the man in the van, dude. He's the man in the chair. You're right, dude. He's so the man in the chair. But I loved that show. It had I looked it up, 87 episodes. It had 2 movies. I was like, whoa, the show went on for a long time. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive for a show based around a young woman who's in high school who's also saving the world constantly, and before she can drive is always bumming rides off people, which I hope they put in the movie, because she'll, like, every time she'd show up to a disaster or to save somebody, she'd get out of like a car or a helicopter and she'd be like, hey, thanks, Frank, and he'd be like, oh no, thank you for saving my bakery from being on fire or whatever, and she's like, it's no problem, thanks for the cinnamon rolls too, and then jump out of the helicopter or whatever it was. It's something crazy like that. But I'm excited. They're doing a lot of this like live action Disney stuff, so it sounds like they're attacking the TV shows a little bit more. Joe, are you as hyped as I am, man? I bet you're a huge Kim Possible fan. KP, baby. So good.
I didn't quite know what you were talking about until he explained it, so...
Good, perfect. He's on board. Hypometer 100 degrees. Joe and I are going to be in the theaters.
It sounds fun. Okay, sure. Yeah, I don't like the idea of a naked mole rat. No.
I was wondering how they would do that. It's like CGI. It's like a lot of the budget going to be on the mole rat. I'm like, I'm thinking about this.
All of it.
Yeah, well, it depends if they just want to run with like a regular, just like naked mole rat, or if they're going to try to like actually use how Rufus is in the show, where he is like intelligent to like a higher degree and he can like help them out and stuff like that. It gets a little crazy, a little weird. But anyway, I'm excited about it. Kim Possible. Something I wanted to bring up because I love that show. It's a great show. Anyway, Joe, Star Wars. We were talking about it earlier a little bit, talking about monetizing different things. Disney announced recently that they've got multiple TV shows in the works for their Disney streaming app, which I'm not surprised about at all. And I was thinking, I was like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. They're just going to have to come out with a killer one first to get people on board so they can all buy that streaming service. But it sounds like some Game of Thrones showrunners will actually be developing another trilogy separate from the new one that Rian Johnson is making right now. I know you're a Game of Thrones fan. Is there any part of you that's like, all right, I'll give it a chance? Like Star Wars, this is a time to hop in because I like Game of Thrones. Like this might be a cool, different take on it. Well, how do you feel?
Sure, yeah. Game of Thrones style Star Wars.
Probably not R-rated.
Red weddings.
No,
don't get attached to any characters.
Sure, well that's
die
true.
Often.
That's happening now.
Unpredictable turns and cliffhangers and and mysteriousness.
Yeah, so you're kind of more on board, kind of, maybe?
If they can do all those things I just said, then by all means.
Well, and like I discussed with you before the show, there's a chance that this could be going back to like the old Republic, where there was like thousands of Jedi, thousands of Sith, thousands of years ago, all these thousands. But to have these guys kind of focus maybe more on like a medieval-ish Star Wars, not like true medieval, but more kind of old school, like big warring factions, as opposed to kind of like the two Sith and like a couple of Jedi, as they've done recently. I don't know if they'll do that at all. It's just kind of a hope. A lot of people are hoping that this is the chance. And that would be perfect because you have that kind of political intrigue, but then also kind of like a different maybe type of hierarchy that would fit well with what these guys are used to kind of coordinating with how Game of Thrones, from what I understand, how that functions. So maybe it'll be like that.
He knows nothing.
Oh, I know that I love all the Tyrions and all the Lannisters. And all the sand serpents, and all the Khal Drogos, and all the mountains.
Oh, yeah. You know nothing, Jimmy Good.
I know plenty. I know just enough. But yes, I think it would be cool. I want to give them a shot. And it sounds like they're going to do this after they wrap up the final season of Game of Thrones, which is good.
Jimmy will finally watch Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Final season.
Yeah, when it finally wraps up. They're doing like 4 spin-offs though. It's like, oy. But anyway, like Joe, you alluded to before we even started shooting, it's like, so you've got your main episodes on one line, you have like the Rian Johnson trilogy going over here, but then you have like this other trilogy going over here. My question to you, Joe, is do you think that this was a play by Disney to try to garner some of the people who were angry about Rian Johnson and The Last Jedi to be like, hey, we have another trilogy over here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you think that's what they're going for?
You know what I think trumps that, Jimmy, is I think that they're trying to create longevity.
Oh,
couldn't find the word for a second, but they're trying to create some longevity for the Star Wars franchise as a whole. Because they've kind of exhausted the whole Darth Vader planet Star Destroyer thing.
Well, the Death Star.
The Death Star. There we go. Yeah.
They do have Star Destroyers, but they're those triangle ships.
Yeah. So I was on to something.
Yeah, you were definitely onto something with the Star Wars stuff.
I mean, from what I kind of take out of this whole thing is that they're kind of exhausting that whole storyline a little bit. So they need to kind of, here's the main tree and the trunk down here going up. They've already got a couple little, some stories up in here, but they're going to take some branches and they're going to head out this way.
Yeah.
Do this way, there. And then there's going to be a branch going out here. They're going to branch out and create another series of branches. And by that, they're going to create a little bit of longevity, new storylines, something that they can build off of, and keep this whole Star Wars deal going for years to come. Because I think the longevity of that and the money coming in is the most important thing. Who cares if the fans didn't like one movie because of one guy and this whole bullcrap drama? Whatever. There's a bigger picture, and I'm sure Disney sees it. So.
Yeah. Well, actually, Joe, you just made me think of something. What a criticism I hear for a lot of Marvel films is that they all feel like they're kind of one episode of a TV show. And maybe that's what movies are going to be going forward with like these big franchises, is like these guys know how to run multi-million-dollar TV shows. Now, what if we give you hundreds of millions of dollars to make them, but for movies instead? It's like, that might be where they're going with this. And you're totally right. For longevity, it might not just be a trilogy these guys are looking at. They're like, hey, guys, what if you want to do like 9? What if you want to make your own little like Star Wars saga over here? And just like, you guys know, obviously, what you're doing. You're running one of the biggest kind of IPs in the mainstream public right now. Now take the biggest IP ever and let's give you all the money, all the time, and you guys do whatever you want with it within the confines of what we set up, and just probably don't make it R. Like, I don't think they're gonna make it R rated. It would cut the costs, and like everything would go downhill if you have a bunch of like tons of blood or like nudity and stuff. Like, you can't really do that in Star Wars, at least not yet. It's just too much money involved. So maybe in the Star Wars TV show, but not here. So I'm not surprised about this. I think it's an interesting play by them, but again, like you're saying, longevity, baby. It's gonna be. Uh-oh. You hear that? Those are the Porgs. They're singing Duel of the Fates.
What up?
So that was a beautiful
entrance. Star Wars party. How's it going?
Hey, man, we're just talking Star Wars. Thanks for showing up, bud. We're talking about the Game of Thrones showrunners making some Star Wars films, an entire new trilogy for them. Do you have any feelings on that?
Throw it out the window.
Yes, I love it. Get it out of here. Well, because you like Rian Johnson and you like The Last Jedi.
I love Rian Johnson.
So you're kind of more about that trilogy, not to be confused with this new trilogy, not to be confused with the episodes running up the tree trunk like Joe and I were so eloquently putting.
I caught that tree trunk, and that's going to be a meme. No. Good job, Joe. I think it's going to be really cool. They have so many ideas in the cooker right now. A little ridiculous.
Yeah, well, and before you even arrived, they announced that they're doing multiple Star Wars TV shows for that new Disney streaming app or service that's coming soon, which, again, I'm not surprised with. That's how they're going to get people to buy on for it. That's their Netflix original right there. So, not surprised. Disney, man, they're a business.
Hey, keep it good. We've had 3 movies now under our Disney banner belt, so
which I know some people are not as big a fans of, but we'll talk about this this 4th one coming up here, because we had the Super Bowl this weekend, and I don't think any of us here really cared too much about the game. However, did care a little bit more about the sweet trailers, baby. Right? Those sweet, hot trailers. What I will tell you guys right now, though, is we're not talking about 2 specifically. Black Panther and Infinity War. Get them out of here. I've already bought my ticket for Black Panther. I don't need to be sold. Infinity War, same thing. Don't show me anymore, all right, guys? Dang it. There are 3 in particular I wanted to talk about here. And now that we're on the Star Wars train, I want to talk about it briefly, but Solo trailer. Levi, how do you feel about the Han Solo trailer starring Solo, the Han Solo?
Definitely a much different trailer than we've seen for Star Wars films. Little more action pace, a little bit faster, a little bit less dramatic, and a little bit more high-speed chase like we're used to with the Solo name. So
So my question, I guess, to you is that, like, I've always talked about I want to see like a heist movie. Like I wanted a heist movie. This movie like seems that way. It's like I'm putting together a crew. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
like, I'm more on board.
Actually turned out to be a really cool film. Absolutely.
Well, it's got this kind of Rogue One aesthetic to it too. A kind of dark, kind of crisp looking thing. Except for the Millennium Falcon looks like interior looks gorgeous, like really clean. But like in 30 years or 40 years or whatever, Han apparently maybe not even that many, but like it's completely destroyed it. But like, are you okay with taking like this character and just kind of focusing, not necessarily on his backstory, like to begin with, but like this maybe 1 or 2 mission thing, kind of like what Rogue One was?
Sure. I mean, like I said, we've got a lot of good Star Wars films under our belt right now. So,
Joe, Solo. I know you don't really care about Star Wars too much, but he's a fast talker. He's got nice long hair. There's going to be gambling involved. Lando Calrissian, your favorites in there. So, like, what in this film? What would it have to do now to really excite you to go and see this one? Without me forcing you to do so.
Well, there's a little sparkle of Game of Thrones in there. You got Emilia Clarke, so that's one step in the right direction.
A classic Tyrion Lannister. A classic Littlefinger.
Just shaking my head. No.
Oh yeah. What were we talking about?
You like Emilia Clarke, right?
Yeah, I do. I think she's pretty cool as a person, as an actor. Her character on Game of Thrones, great, yada yada. Not much more to say beyond that, but I'd be excited to see her in this kind of a different. I know she's been in other stuff. I just haven't. Not like I'm going out to, what else has Emilia been in? But yeah, it's interesting. I like her, and I think it'd be cool to see her in something with a different style. But from the trailer, I don't know what the hell's going on.
It's okay. I think a lot of people might be confused because, like Rogue One before it, it's kind of like you're following these episodes, and then you kind of get one of these that comes out where it's like, well, it's a prequel, and it's like, okay, like so a lot of people might be thinking, why are we doing this? Like, if you're not a diehard like Star Wars fan, you might be like, okay, why are we talking about this character?
Well, who cares why? I think people are gonna have fun with it, right? If you're a Han Solo fan, oh look, cool. Han Solo is Harrison Ford.
That's very good. Yeah, and that's the problem is big shoes to fill, regardless of who would be playing him. I would be terrified to have, like, if they're like, hey, do you want to be this? I'd be like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if there's enough money, because like that fandom would be like, be scary to kind of step into that. It's like if you wanted to play like a young Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow, he's kind of ruined his own name in a way. But like if you had to go and be young Jack Sparrow, I'd be like, I don't know if I'd want to do that either. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. It looks like it's going to be kind of light and fun, not really as big of consequences like Rogue One was. It's just going to be like, it's Han Solo's backstory. Even though I still want that Obi-Wan film. It's coming one of these days. Just I want a backstory about the character that might be a little more entertaining, but this one might be fun. It seems like a pretty decent cast. Obi-Wan, he's Luke's teacher. He's the blue lightsaber.
Did you just ask him?
Okay. That's okay. He's not big.
Flip the table.
No, it's okay. He's the guy who fought. He's got like a beard, mustache, white hair sometimes
Ewan
brown.
McGregor.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor.
Oh.
Yeah, he said he'd do it too, and I would love to see a standalone Obi-Wan film because that guy's just. He's 10 out of 10.
Who was the Taken guy?
Liam Neeson. He was Qui-Gon Jinn. Very good, Joe. I'm giving you that one. Yeah. Because back in the day, he was his Padawan, so he didn't have the beard and stuff then. And Darth Maul cut him down, and Obi-Wan's like, no! Kind of thing. Like, it's a good scene.
So I highly recommend you watch The Long Way Around with Ewan McGregor. You will not be disappointed.
What's it about?
Ewan McGregor takes a trip through a bunch of different countries on a motorcycle with a camera crew, and it's very philanthropic and it's very good. Especially if you like motorcycles and you just like, kind of like a Man vs. Wild kind of thing. It's a good show.
Joe,
we're not being paid for this sponsorship.
You're not. Ewan McGregor.
We need some coin out of you.
Who's Ewan McGregor again?
Rouge.
Yeah, he's in Moulin Rouge. He was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I've never seen Moulin Rouge.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's also been in. What's another good thing he's been in?
I recognize the name. I can't put a face to the name right now.
His voice
Here,
of
I'm sending you
Lumiere.
a picture right now.
Look at the picture. Embrace the picture of Ewan McGregor. He's a beautiful person. He's great. He's got a great accent too, by the way, and he's a good singer. It's very good.
Yeah, I didn't even know he had an accent before. That was always.
Oh yeah, it's so like they can all do just the normal American accent, but do not have me try to do like any other type of accent. It falls apart pretty quickly. It just seems mean at that point. But yeah, Han Solo. We're all stoked for Solo. Levi, for you, hypometer 0 to 100 degrees.
I am calling it now. There's going to be a betrayal, and there's going to be there's going to be a betrayal, and that's why he is so the way he is in the later movies. Calling it right now.
Are you excited though, more so now that you've seen this trailer?
I'm nervous. There hasn't been a lot of hype, which is very unusual for Disney and for Star Wars. We haven't seen a lot of build up yet, so I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. But hey, I don't know.
Degree wise, I need degrees, baby.
Degrees, 98 degrees, baby. No, just kidding. Nick Lachey, no, 75%. I haven't been this non-interested in a Star Wars film in a long time.
Fair enough.
I think even that Rogue One trailer just hits you.
Yeah,
well, the sirens going off and.
Oh yeah, dude, that was intense. All right, I guess for me, I'd probably put it like a 70 or 60 something. I don't know, like 65. I'm gonna say because we finally saw a trailer, which is good because I was at like nothing beforehand. But Joe, as the biggest Star Wars fan, give me degrees, baby. You excited to just bask in the Solo-ness?
Yeah, man, I'll give her a mean 5.
That's so much better than the 0 it would have been normally. So
I'll give it a mean 5, and who knows? We'll see. If I see a little more, and I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, let me be honest. It's I'm being nice to it.
I just like this is the reason I want you to see it because I want a review of it from your perspective on the show where you're just like I'm like, man, it was so cool and they did that thing on the train and you're like, yeah, it made no sense, absolutely no sense. Sorry, you got to look at the environment around you and it wouldn't make But anyway, we're moving on from that one because we don't need to stay on Solo. It's kind of the one I don't really care about the most. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom had a new trailer that's completely different than the first one, kind of showing off the second act a little bit more. So kind of showing some creepy things like a little dinosaur tucking a girl into bed, I'm
glad we're going to talk about this. What was that?
Now, does that really happen or is it a nightmare?
I think it's legitimately happening. I'm pretty sure it's actually happening. Like that mansion is being overrun with that like new terror dinosaur, which is like some sort of maybe raptor like hybrid thing.
Bet that's Blue and she's comfortable with the child and they knew each other for a long time.
It can't be that because the claws were so like hand claws. They were he was comfortable with the child. Blue's never met this child, presumably. Anyway, whatever. Maybe they have. Who cares? So Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. How do we feel, boys, about this? Joe, we're kind of a little more invested in the JP lore. We talk about Jurassic World a lot. Does seeing this trailer now after the first one that we talked about a while ago, does this get you a little more excited? Does it make you more nervous? How do you feel?
We talked about it briefly when we saw some of the teasers and a little bit of info on the plot, but how do I feel about it? I enjoy the fact that I do get a little goosebumpy at moments. I enjoy a couple of the edited pieces in there. I think they're nice to look at, and I want to freeze frame them. But most of all, I enjoy the horror aspect of it. I just don't like how they got there. Yeah. A return to roots, but the ends to justify the means is kind of weird. Yeah. So we'll see what that whole thing is. And here's one big issue I have. So I'm pretty jazzed for it. I'm not going to lie. I'm interested to see how this all intertwines together. But because right now I'm just kind of like, okay, they created a dinosaur. They're back on the mainland. The island blew up somewhere in this whole timeline. Why they built a giant resort like Disney World on an island with a volcano right behind it. I'm not quite getting it all here.
Mm-hmm.
Why does the park look so old and decrepit, and it's only been I hope that starts off 6 years later. Then I'll believe the whole it's that decrepit and all that. But I mean, okay, a year later, yeah, it's been ravaged by some storms or something, hasn't been maintained, but it shouldn't look like I don't know. Maybe whatever. Either way, I have a big problem with. Oh crap! What was I gonna say?
That's the buildup.
I'm thinking of so many different aspects of it, but it's weird that I get goosebumps when Pratt is in that room and the mutant dinosaur is standing there, which I'm starting to get a little sick of the hybrid bullshit. I hope that's not the case. Maybe it's like it's a new species of dinosaur that they haven't shown before.
I don't know if
that's the case, but
they allude to it.
Oh yeah, they say right away they made it or whatever.
Like, they made that thing, and I'm like, oh god, of course you did. I mean, they made all of them, but
yeah, but I got a little goosebumpy when he's like Blue, and he whistles and Blue attacks the mutant one. I'm just like, it's hard for like your brain is saying this is the cheesiest bullshit I've ever seen in my life, but you're like your heart's like but and I'm just like, how did we go from velociraptors were the most terrifying thing on the surface of the planet to now it's my best friend, we hunt together?
Yeah. Well, they went through that tumultuous time, where they fought the Indominus, and then it kind of went against him, and then didn't. And
Blue only tried to kill him for half the movie, but whatever.
Well, that's because it's part Plotosaurus, like it has to do with the plot demands of it. So it's like, so it's not full raptor. Just remember that. So, yeah. Well, okay, Levi, we don't know really where you stand on Jurassic Park, or at least we've maybe talked about it a little bit in the past, but watching Fallen Kingdom and some of the stuff you've seen come out of it now from maybe the little bit you've seen, are you excited about this film, comparatively to the rest of the franchise?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I am a little taken aback by the trailer we just saw. Rightfully so. I mean, we just talked about the kid getting tucked into bed with the monster. Yeah. I still think they know each other. We'll see. It's like a Digimon kind of thing going on, Pokemon. Pokemon live action that we've never got.
It wasn't Blue. It wasn't Blue.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be good. I kind of agree with Joe. I don't like the setting as much. I don't know how I feel about that. And I really wish they would have just gone straight back to the roots. And we got Dr. Is it Graham? What's the guy's name?
You're talking about Ian Malcolm?
Yeah, Ian Graham. Grant. There we go. Yep. I don't know. There's so many other blockbusters that I'm more interested in this coming up summer. So
yeah, it's kind of weird that this one's coming out, and I'm not, from our perspective, I don't want to speak for everybody, but at least from my perspective, it's kind of like, oh yeah, this one's coming out. Oh, I kind of forgot that's coming out. Joe, I think it's coming out like on your birthday.
It is coming out on the 27th.
My birthday present to you, my friend. But is this weird movie, which might be really good or really bad. But like Joe alluded to, kind of getting back to the horror aspects, that's what I'm excited about, because I'm kind of a scaredy cat, but I like those tense moments. Maybe it's not so much horror, but more so like a little bit of that mixed
edge of your seat, baby.
Yeah, like a thriller, because that was what's so great about the first film, is that it got to these parts where it got so closed in and they were trapped with these creatures that could just outright destroy them, but they had to use their wits to get around them, because they're like, if I meet them head on, I'm not gonna last. Like, I have to be smart, otherwise I'm gonna die. So I hope we get to see a little bit more of that. I think it's a smart move getting the two young kids out of it from the first one, and I don't know what they're gonna do with this one, but I'm not a huge, like, Chris Pratt will be fine. Bryce Dallas Howard, I like her. We'll see where it goes. But if they're going to have like dinosaurs running amok in a mansion, I don't know how much you can do with that. So maybe that's just the second act, and the third act will be in another location. I don't know.
It is a little weird. Yeah. And they're back on the island for a stint, and why Pratt and Howard are there, I don't know.
They have to save the dinosaurs. He has to go save Blue. They got to go save Blue, because he left her there. Because I would have just been like, come on, Blue. Let's go. Luke, come back. Luke, come back. Let's go on the boat. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, hypometer.
No. We haven't covered it all. Another thing I had an issue with, and I just remembered this, and I was going to cover it with my other issue, but I didn't see a hell of a lot of practical effects there, pal. I know the T-Rex in the trailer is going to be one of them.
No, but then he jumped through its mouth, and then it was CG.
Yeah, so it's kind of back and forth. But I haven't seen a lot in the trailers. I'm hoping there's going to be some, but as of now, that one scene where that, what is it, Allosaurus or something is coming around that sphere ball, that gyro ball.
Oh, it's Carnotaurus.
Okay, and then all of a sudden the T-Rex shows up and nails it, pins it down.
Yeah, snaps it.
Kind of a cool scene. It looks cool. Like if you pause it at that moment, it's real neat looking. I don't know. I'm interested to see what they're doing here. How they get all these dinosaurs off the island? How many do they get off the island? A bunch of them die. I assume that's the case. It's a little overwhelming to a certain degree, but yeah, a lot of CG from what I can tell. Yeah. A lot. And I am calling it right now. I've seen a couple Instagram photos with the Jurassic World tag and whatnot. I'm calling it right now that you will see some scale issues, as in like size. So like dinosaur size, like that dinosaur in the Nightmare for the kid, tucking her in. That dinosaur is going to be, one minute you think it's this big, the next it's standing in that room and it seems so much bigger. What's going on here? Poor CGI. Shitty CGI.
Jesus.
I don't know.
I agree.
It just, it bums me out because they've kind of been touting. They're like, oh, we're using a lot of practical effects. And I feel like a lot of those movies or the developer, like behind the things about it, like the producers and the directors, like, yes, we use plenty of practical effects. And we like to use them. And it's like, and then you see the actual thing and you're like, what? Like, what? Maybe you did, but we're not seeing it in the movie. Like, we can tell when it takes that footstep into the house or the mansion. And I'm like, that could have been a foot. Like, we could do this. Anyway.
Do you think the shot of its muzzle over the girl's body was real? I gotta go look back, but
I don't know. I don't trust any of it now. If you see one bad thing and then you just like, I just assume it's all fake.
I'm just not very excited about it. I don't know.
That's okay.
I am, just because I love any chance to see dinosaurs on a screen in a new light. Like, look at me. I hate Jurassic World, but I've gone back to watch it 3 or 4 times because it's still enjoyable just for the look of it, I guess. There's still value there. It's not a very well done movie. But
I think the problem is with dinosaurs, it's the only high budget game in town, unless and then you go to Sci-Fi is the next step down. So like they're the only restaurant in town serving this type of steak. And there could be better steaks if other people tried, but no one else is trying. There's like a few restaurants here and there are trying, but it's like not that great. It's at a lower budget. But Jurassic Park and Jurassic World are the only ones who are doing this type of thing because no one else wants to try to do big budget with dinosaurs unless they go completely off the rails and do kind of like a Rampage sort of thing or Godzilla. Like they have to go way far away from where Jurassic Park is like, this is our zone. You got to get away from it.
Hey, you come in here and we're going to have velociraptors sick you.
Yep. Joe, give me that hypometer, man. How do you feel after this trailer? Hyper, lower?
Despite a few of my qualms there, I still am pretty hyped. I like the direction they're going as opposed to Jurassic World, the first rendition there. So I'm going to give it a strong 90. But that's just how much I like dinosaurs. So maybe you call it biased. But like I say, it might not be the most high quality movie, but I get to see dinosaurs on the big screen and I love it.
Yeah. Levi, how about you, man? How are you feeling? Hypometer.
Because of Bryce Dallas Howard, and I love her, 85%.
85% for Bryce Dallas Howard alone?
For Bryce Dallas Howard, yeah. The Village is one of my favorite movies. I don't care what the haters say.
The Village?
Brilliant in that movie, absolutely. Such a great actress.
I like her too. I think she's pretty cool.
I think she's great, yeah. No.
Oh, guys, you can't.
I just want to see her get more screen time, so.
You guys like an actress again. It's like you don't have to fight over Evangeline Lilly anymore. You've got Bryce Dallas Howard. If you guys
over.
You guys fight again, I'm just going to go, BDH, Bryce Dallas Howard. And they'll be like, it's all good. For me, I'm probably like 80, 85. This one got me a little more hyped because it does look cool. It's nice to see it in a different place instead of the park, and I like seeing it in a mansion. I'm interested to see where they go, though.
How do they get to that point? That's what I'm interested in.
That's the thing, and that's what a trailer should do. It should make you ask questions and not answer everything, because if we know too much, it'd be like we see the final.
You just know the movie. You can see it play out. Like,
I'm really hoping we don't get a finale, honestly, with the T-Rex. I'm sorry. I love you so much, T-Rex. You've done so much work, but I don't want to see you fight anything else, because if you die in this one or Blue dies, I'm going to be much, much sadder than if Chris Pratt were to die. I'd be like,
I know. For some reason, I will be too. But dude, I'm telling you, Blue's going to die. Oh, and the T-Rex, it's going to be... They're going to do some... I mean, they're already doing some cheesy bullshit fight with Blue and the monstery one.
Yeah.
You know that's going to happen, and I think the monstery one's going to win. Chris Pratt and his girl are going to get out of there, and you know the monster's still going to be chasing him after he ate the velociraptor. Oh, and did I mention he ate 3 other people and another dinosaur before that? But he's still hungry.
Yeah, or just killing because they just kill. Because that's all. Like, could you program them not to kill, or maybe not to have the claws? Like, if you're worried about it.
This one doesn't even have teeth.
I just imagine like a G-rated version of Jurassic Park where they're programmed not to kill. Like, oh, you're so pretty. Like,
what? What do you mean? It's hugging everybody. Hugging everybody. It's like,
really does tuck that little girl into bed, and
yeah. Yeah. We'll see where it goes. I don't know. Blue's. You're right, Joe. They kind of showed Blue as a baby, so it's kind of like, oh, it's probably gonna. Also, do you ever do an alien standpoint where you put like Chris Pratt or Bryce Dallas Howard into like a kind of pseudo mech suit to fight one of these things? Because they always you can only run from dinosaurs until they fight each other. Like, is there ever a time where they just don't get away? You know, like when like the main characters are like, there's no other dinosaur for them to fight. You know, they won't do that. No. Anyway, boys, I've got something special planned for this last one. What if I told you the last trailer was going to be... It's going to... Tell me you can hear that.
No, just reactionless, Jimmy. No, what are we talking about?
Mission Impossible 6. I'm taking the lead on this one. Hot diggity darn, that thing looks good to me. The cinematography, the fact that it's following up on the villain from 5... And just like the story of Ethan Hunt, the director was talking about this. We've seen a bunch of these movies. We don't know who Ethan is. I mean, they kind of tackled it in Mission Impossible 3 a little bit. He's got a wife and stuff, but who's Ethan? Has he ever said, guess what, guys? No, I don't accept this mission. He just like closes the book and is like, nope. Or, you know, he's like, sounds like too much for me. But man, I've been watching behind the scenes stuff on this. I watched Tom Cruise break his ankle. I watched Tom Cruise do these crazy, like almost barrel rolls with a helicopter. The guy is doing all this stuff. And yeah, I get it. He's crazy. But goodness, he's committed to the craft. He broke his ankle on the side of a building, got up and ran. He kept running for the shot because he's like, yeah, we needed the shot. And I'm like, what? Like, that's why he gets paid the big bucks, baby. But I don't know. I'm stoked, man. Henry Cavill's in there. He's got a mustache. The one that ruined Justice League looks pretty good. He's got this whole boxing style to him, too. They're like a ton of practical effects, which I completely believe because we've seen them. Like, you see all that stuff. Apparently, they had like 13 helicopters in the air for some of these things to shoot Tom Cruise flying a helicopter. He had to learn how to be a helicopter pilot. I'm like,
no, what? He actually flew.
Yes, he flew it. And they got all these rigs set up. So it's like, because they said mostly in helicopters for these types of movies, they don't have them cameras pointed in, but they had a whole bunch of cameras to show that it's him, Tom Cruise, by himself piloting a helicopter to like his death. Like, I'm like, what? Like, what's the insurance like for this movie? They're like, there's a really good chance he could die. Like this time for sure. Like, I just respect it and I like it. It looks so good and I'm so excited. They got the cast. They got like Ving Rhames back. They got I can't remember his name. Sean from was Simon Pegg. Simon Pegg. Yeah, from Shaun of the Dead. Simon Pegg's back. Jeremy Renner's gonna be back. Alec Baldwin's back, I guess. And the editing for the trailer was also really good. And they played a good Imagine Dragons song that I used to love back in the day. I'm psyched.
They showed a lot of it.
They did show a lot.
A lot of vehicles get wrecked, and Tom Cruise kind of get beat up a little bit.
He always gets beat up, but that's what I love about Ethan Hunt. Because unlike James Bond, and I mean Daniel Craig's a little bit more like this, but Ethan Hunt goes through like literal physical hell, but still keeps going, and I love that because that's like so like he's the American spy. He's like, you blow me up, you throw me out of a building, but I will just keep progressing to finish the mission. He's not trying to kill everybody. He's like just trying to save the day. Absolutely love it. Can't wait, man. I'm just like, bring it on. Bring it. All right.
I find the Mission Impossibles to not be that memorable. Like, I know I saw the last one, and I can't remember what it was about.
Stabbing me. Okay, I get that they can
sorry, Jimmy.
Okay, I'm okay. I'm sorry. I get that you could say that. I understand that because 5 and 4 maybe run together a little bit more.
Sure.
A lot of it,
I'm not saying that they're bad.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're bad. I think it's just like a slew of really good action that just like, holy crap, it's just a collage of action on one big piece of poster board. You know what I mean? And it's enjoyable in the moment. You can enjoy watching it. It's good stuff. And I love the action. Like the stunts and stuff are, like you're saying, second to none. And they're all realistic. It's not Fast and Furious here. They're not, defying the laws of physics times 100. At least some of this is very practical. So I appreciate that. I like it more than, say, a 007 or, what I've seen. 007 has its moments, but I kind of prefer this. And Tom Cruise is good in this role. So just keep in mind, the only bad thing I said is that they're not memorable. They're just kind of... I just think they do. They just kind of blur together for me as just one big action sequence. And plus, what did Tom Cruise do lately? He did that.
He had 2 bad movies last year. He had American Made and The Mummy. So it's like he's due for a win.
He did something else that was similar to Mission Impossible, and I'm forgetting what it is.
Night and Day.
No, he's in Louisiana with some girl.
American Made.
No.
What was he doing in this movie?
Oh, he's like
a pilot?
No, not Top Gun.
Fact check.
No, it's he's done 2 of them, right? Or he's doing 2 of them?
Jack Reacher.
Yes. Jack Reacher.
Yeah, they're not. I didn't see the second one. I saw the first one. It's fine. It's just like not as crazy Mission Impossible, but
yeah,
I can see where a lot of just Tom Cruise's work starts to run together for you, where you're kind of like, here and there. I usually judge by the hair. Like I could see like which movie is which by that. But Levi, have you seen this trailer? What do you think about Mission Impossible? I want to know where you stand.
I really do appreciate Henry Cavill's in there. Sorry, just had to get that in. I didn't say it.
I don't have much to say on this topic. I am not a Mission Impossible or Tom Cruise fan, pretty much at all. I'm sorry. Sticking that knife in.
That's okay. We can all like different things.
We're on the 6th Mission Impossible. It could have ended after 2. How many do you need? We're starting to fall into the territory of Fast and Furious here, where you just keep churning them out and, like...
All right. I understand your criticisms, and I take them as valid critiques.
Right now, folks, Jimmy is putting in little graphics of me getting stabbed.
You'll be like, it's the last time you'll ever see Levi ever again. Okay, I understand that. Mission Impossible 2, for anybody who hasn't seen it, it goes insane. Now, Joe, we're talking about Fast and Furious, and Levi was too. That one is like the closest to Fast and Furious you're ever going to get. Dogs agree with me. But it goes really insane. Like they're kind of superheroes. Like they could do things like jump off like a Ducati or something like that, and like basically put your feet on the ground as it's driving forward, kind of thing. Like, and they kind of do these things like insane superhuman stunts. But after that, Mission Impossible 3. That's where J.J. Abrams actually got his directorial debut. Was with Mission Impossible 3, believe it or not. But like from there on, it was a little bit more. Very exciting. Like Lily. Okay, Lily, I like Mission Impossible 3 and 4. All right, it's okay. We're just gonna let that be done.
Which is the Mission Impossible where they're like climbing up in the trailer?
That was Ghost Protocol. That's fun.
I like that. I like that. That looked cool. I didn't watch the movie, but I liked that trailer.
You watched the movie? Oh goodness. Okay,
so the only reason it's memorable is because it was. I remember watching another movie with you, and that would come on, and you get all excited, and I was like, "This is dumb," but.
You're killing me, man. You're killing me. Okay.
When did that movie come out? What year?
Mission Impossible 4 came out in 2012, I think.
Was that 4? Okay,
Yeah.
then that was around the time of like Avengers and stuff, right? So that must have been.
Yeah, it was December 2012, I think. Yeah. That's because
I'm sure we were watching The Hobbit or something, and that trailer came out there.
Maybe, I don't know. It was one of those things. Anyway, I just okay, but I understand the qualms. I get it, but like Mission Impossible, I want to do a whole episode on Mission Impossible one day. When the dogs aren't barking constantly.
Please don't invite me to that one.
Levi's gonna be on. He's gonna watch all of them.
You know what? I'll start watching them so I can give an actual honest review on them.
I want to know because Mission Impossible 1 to me is not it's not super duper great. It's kind of weird. It's got this weird kind of it's kind of I don't know. They're all spy-y, but that one's like tries to go into it the most. But it's more about like, oh, who's gonna betray whom and like what's really going on here. But Mission Impossible 3, 4, and 5 I thought were really, really good. And I think you guys would dig them too. If you like action movies at all, that would be something to check out. I recommend.
Is this a series that Tom Cruise like runs into the room with his boxers and does that slide?
Yeah, that's the series. Mm-hmm. Yep. No, that's not the series. That's not the series. Yeah. Okay, so you don't really care about Mission Impossible. Joe's kind of like, I'm hyped for it. Mission Impossible is literally, legitimately one of my favorite film franchises of all time. It is the reason I go to see movies in a
You
movie
are allowed
theater.
to like a different franchise. Yes,
it is like the quintessential like movie theater going experience because you want to see like big explosions and crazy things and people doing real stunts. That's what I want to see. That's just what I want to see. And Tom Cruise does it more so than any other superstar does it. Like you're not going to see Vin Diesel. You're not going to see The Rock doing these types of things. Like it just ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm stoked. This trailer got me excited. I'm at like a 90 right now, maybe 95 on my hypometer. Joe, where are you?
Oh, I find them entertaining, so I think I'd put it. Ooh, this is tough. I'll give her an 8.5.
Okay,
I enjoy Mission Impossible.
Cool. So like 85ish. 85ish.
Yeah, 85ish.
Right.
83.
Levi, how about you?
2.5.
Ask me next week on our podcast.
No, you got to
watch the. No, I'm going to watch the movies this weekend, and then ask me next week, and we'll revisit this, and I'll
I won't remember. Just from.
I gotta say 20% right now because I don't give a crap.
Oh my gosh, it's like Joe Solo. He doesn't care. Okay, that's fine. One
for my honest.
I appreciate that. No, that's good. I want varying because if we're all just the same and we're all just like we like all the same things, it wouldn't be that fun. There wouldn't be that kind of contrast, which I love. But yeah, I just love Mission Impossible. I like seeing also the Fallout, and Fallout. You know, that's what it's called. I don't like that name so much, but I like the idea of having an action film and then having a sequel to it and saying, guess what? Like the stuff that happened in that one beforehand, it's affecting today. Like stuff is still happening in this world because of what you did, and that the kind of the road to hell is paved with good intention, kind of thing. So it's like it'd be cool to see Ethan Hunt finally maybe break and do something bad and like kind of go against what he's been going with this whole time and not just be like a company man, because that's what I want to see. Because Ethan's always just been like, mission, cool, let's go. Now it might be like, maybe we should change what we're doing. So that's what I'm
claim
excited.
That name is a ploy for advertising. People are just Googling, hey, when's the live action Fallout movie coming? And that's what pops up.
No, it's because of the plutonium maybe, and it's going to be like a nuclear device goes off. All I'm saying is that I remember every big thing in all those movies. It was the knock list, then it was the rabbits. Oh no, sorry, it was knock list, chimera virus, rabbit's foot, nuclear launch codes, then the actual Rogue Nation, which was the last one. That was number 5. So those are all the things they fight for. Anyway, boys, I want you to rank these trailers from your most excited to your least. We kind of know what they're going to be like, but Levi, out of the 3, Solo, Mission Impossible, and Jurassic World.
It's going to go Solo, Jurassic, and a Mission Impossible.
Okay, sounds good. From highest to lowest.
Highest to lowest. Yeah.
Joe?
Highest to lowest, Jurassic World, Mission Impossible, and Solo.
Okay. Highest Mission Impossible, no question. I guess Jurassic and then Solo.
Ooh.
I guess.
I'm a Star Wars fan. My goodness. You say that now, but when we do a review for Solo, you're gonna be like, I came into that with low expectations. I'm calling it right now.
I am, and I'm glad it looks like Rogue One because I want like some sort of continuity, at least in how they're shot. throughout these kind of prequel like side story things, and this one looks a lot like how Rogue One was, and I'm excited about that. So at least we actually can see it now as opposed to just guessing. So yeah. I don't know. I want more of it. We should have known more by now personally, but what you gonna do? Movies, man. And also Deadpool 2, we didn't really talk about it, but they moved their date closer to Solo because I don't think they're as worried that Solo's gonna take all their money. So they kind of might be a little competition at the box office. Won't matter long though, because Disney's gonna own them both. They're gonna be like, well, we're just gonna take Deadpool, just move over here eventually, and just have every week a new Disney movie will come out. Just like, yeah.
Might as well just change the name from like Showplace and AMC Showplace to like Disney Show, like Disney Showplace or Disney
on their streaming service, which is brilliant. It's just all business, like we said at the top. It's all business, baby. But we want to know what your like favorite trailers were from the Super Bowl. We want to know like maybe your favorite ads were too. There are a few good ads. There's a really good Jurassic Park Jeep ad with Jeff Goldblum. That was pretty funny. A really good way to sell your Rubicon if you need to. But I want to know like what your ranking is for these trailers. If you're really excited about some of these, or if you're like, I couldn't care less about the new Mission Impossible, which I can take it. It's fine. That's okay. It's for me. I'm excited about it. I just love watching Tom Cruise almost kill himself a bunch. I respect it. He's doing it. Anyway, boys, I got a fun little game for you this week. All right. And guess what? It's because I can't think of a better name for it. It's another round of Quickdraw. All right. It's going to be real brief because I couldn't find too many of these. But today's game for Quickdraw is going to be all about video game taglines. I'm going to say a video game tagline to you, one that you might find on the box or some sort of marketing material for you. I will give you the 3 games that could possibly be. And when you know which one it is, I'm going to need you to go make a noise, bang, like you get ready for a quick draw. Are you guys ready for this?
Come on, Joe, let's see the hammer.
I believe so.
You ready to fan that hammer, Joe?
Fan the hammer.
He's like,
we're going to get censored on YouTube.
Oh, we always do. We're not advertiser friendly, apparently. Anyway, here's the first tagline. What started with war ends with death. Is it Warhammer 40K Space Marine, Darksiders 2, or Gears of War 3?
Bam.
Levi?
Space Marine?
That is incorrect.
What?
Joe?
That's garbage.
Gears of War?
Is it Darksiders?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know Darksiders had anything to do with war. I don't know.
It's the dark, like War, Darkside. Anyway, that's War is the main character of the first Darksiders, and then 2 is Darksiders 2 with death. Like, I'd have thought that was really easy. Anyway, next one. Fight like hell. Is it Doom, Diablo 3, or Dante's Inferno?
Bam.
Levi?
Dante's Inferno?
Oh, no.
Is it Diablo? God damn it.
Joe, would you like to try? That's great.
Diablo?
Incorrect again, guys.
We're both just stuck in it.
All right, this last
I
one's
don't even know what these are.
That's okay. You could have taken 1 out of 2 shots.
I knew Gears of War and Darksiders. But...
Finish the fight. Is that?
Oh, bam.
Levi.
Don't even have to say it's Halo 3.
Thank goodness. Oh my God. I was like, I gotta do 1. Levi, you did it. You won the quick draw.
You know what that that's means? So bad.
You know what that means? You get a special prize.
Is it Lily?
You want to know what it is?
Sure. Oh. Levi,
yeah! Mission Impossible. Dramatic pause.
Does that mean you're taking me to the movie? Is that what that means?
Yeah, we're gonna go see that movie, dude. You're gonna be a Mission Impossible fan, and you're gonna come out and you're gonna be like, I didn't like it. I'm gonna be like, I loved it. Hopefully, I hope. Anyway, sorry. I just love Mission Impossible so much. I'm gonna go in with unbiased view. No, I'm just kidding. That's impossible, dude. Low expectations. Anyway, Joe, Levi, it's that time of the show that we all like to call. Joe, do it. Do the thing, Joe.
You like to call that. We like to call that. We all like to call Timekillers.
That's right. It's time for Timekillers. The games we've been playing, the movies we've watched, the TV shows we've been viewing, cookbooks we've been trying to read, because Joe likes to talk about the cookbooks. I'm going to go first. It's just been Monster Hunter World. It's like a new life. It's like I can't get away from it. It's just like Lily agrees with me here. But besides that, I've been rewatching some old Naruto. Sasuke Retrieval Arc. It's been great. Joe, what have you been killing time with, pal?
Nothing but Monster Hunter. And that's it. That's it.
Fair enough. Levi, how about you, pal?
Monster Hunter Shadow of Colossus. I started streaming last night.
Yeah.
Breeze through that game, baby.
Speed run.
I restarted Dragon Ball Z thanks to an old friend who couldn't keep his mouth shut.
Woo, that's me. Could be keeping my mouth shut.
And yeah, I will start Code Geass here too.
Please.
But yeah.
Cool.
That's what I've been doing. Monster Hunter, baby. It's all over. That's
like the fastest Timekillers we've ever done. Like, I think it's because we have this big thing that we're all just playing a lot, and we just we're just hang on and do that. So yeah, it's great. Love it. Anyway, I asked our Legionnaires in this next part of the show, community feedback and questions, what their very worst gaming habits were. We got some really fun responses because, we were talking about this last week, and I think it's kind of revealing, kind of fun to talk about these. But W Lucha, I believe I'm saying that right. He's the guy who did our overlay for Twitch, by the way. Thank you, Simon, for doing that. He said, sometimes I just wait an RPG for 3 months, then come back and have no earthly idea what I was doing. Happened with FF12 on PS2. Didn't beat it until the remaster. Same thing with The Witcher 3. Killed a griffin and haven't gone back yet. Intend to, though. So I get that. Van Athena C, I could say that. I like to do as many side quests as I can and earn a lot of currency to buy all the strong weapons, armors, healing potions. The game can't go forward until I get back to the main quest. I've been there too. This one is really good. This is from J. Hunter Pearson. He said, play for 10 seconds, open display menu and switch to performance mode. Play for 10 seconds, open display menu and switch to graphics mode. Play for 10 seconds, open display menu and switch to resolution mode. Repeat. Just keeps going back and forth through all that stuff. If you have the options, I'd be right there with you. I'd be like, is it looking better now? Is it looking worse? I can't tell. Our very own Anna, Little Red Writer, says, turn a game off without saving, Dragon Age, if I've made a disagreeable choice with characters instead of face consequences. Gamer depression, usually with the tough boss fights. I refuse to play a game for months before I'm motivated to play it again or finish all side quests. And then Missile Mage says, this is the last fight. Throw everything at it. And then he said he himself would say, yeah, but I might still need these 7 mega elixirs. I'm like, yep, I've been there too, where it's like, you don't want to do that. And then we have a few more that we got to read. Explore every single side corridor, nook or cranny. 9 times out of 10, there's nothing back there, but I have to check. Also, even though I do that, still, I never find all the collectibles. That's from Beaten Down Brian. Same way. This one resonates with Joe a lot. Trying to get as many armor or glamour sets as possible so my character has options for what they're wearing in combat. Looking good's feeling good.
Right there with him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's what All Greens is saying, something similar to Brian, saying kind of like he does the same. Suspects you go on the right way, immediately turn and explore the other rooms and area to see what collectibles you can find. I'm the same way. Prototype J. Stronger gear in my inventory, but not putting it on because it doesn't match / look good.
That's me.
That's so like I know what you mean. Vain. We're all there. All right. First question comes in from Anna. What was the dumbest but funniest superhero / villain you've ever seen / watched? What were their powers? What was the plot? Funniest superhero or villain? Trying to think of what would be a really good one. Killer Bee Levi from Naruto is pretty stupid, right? He's pretty dumb. Yeah. Is that pretty good? I mean, he's got a lot of superpowers and stuff, but I don't know. He's kind of the way he raps.
He's cool, but he's annoying enough where you just don't.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a tough one. Do you boys have anything that jumps off the page at you? Is there any superheroes or villains?
Superhero or villain that was ridiculously stupid.
Jesse Eisenberg was the stupidest villain I've ever seen.
Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor was the dumbest and funniest super villain we've ever seen. He's just the dumbest, right?
Yeah. All right, that's my vote.
we're all just gonna band around this thing that we hate.
That didn't take long.
No, it didn't. Here, another one that was really that's a good one, and it makes a lot of sense. There's one other one that I wanted to ask you guys. Oh yeah, what movie quotes do you use on a regular / normal basis? I know Joe and I always quote Jurassic Park. He left us. he left us. And then I say that's not what I'm gonna do.
And it makes me feel better inside.
I would never leave you, except when Joe leaves me immediately after in a game or something like. How about you guys? Are there any movies or anything that you quote typically?
No,
with some of my buddies, we've got this quote we do from Red Alert, but it's obscure. Whenever you would click a place for somewhere, one of your troops to go in Red Alert, it would say like rally point established in this really annoying voice, and we'd always say that to each other. But.
Rally. So who would you say rally point established to?
No, it would just any time because that's what we remember from that game. So
okay, who are these buddies? Are these like old? Do I know these buddies? Or are these like buddies I don't know?
Colton,
okay.
Colton and the kids. Yeah,
rally point established. Okay, cool. That's one. I like Lord of the Rings. We quote a lot too. Like I quote it kind of a bit here and there. You know, like he's leaving. That's a really good one. Question from Beaten Down Brian here. What are some of your best gaming moments? By this, I mean something that made you flip out because of how insane it was, or just something you were kind of proud of. For me, I've always loved and been pretty decent at racing games, rallying in particular, and Dirt Rally was pretty much my dream racing game when it launched, free on Xbox Game Pass, by the way. I decided I really wanted to try and improve my leaderboard times, and the first time I grabbed a top spot on them was probably the closest I've ever gotten to actually flipping a table. A few moments that jumped to mind for me right away. I'm not a huge fan of Bloodborne, but I will say this. I almost leapt through the screen when I beat Father Gascon. I was like screaming, and I knew a little bit of the lore and that he had like a daughter, and I started threatening the daughter immediately after. It took me forever to kill this guy, and I hated it so much. That's probably one of them. I think more recently fighting a Rathalos or a Rathian on the top of Monster Hunter World in the big treetops, and then having the dam burst and flying off the side with them, kind of Gandalf in a Balrog situation
all the way down.
Oh, it just feels so cool. You're just like, that was a really cool moment. And then bringing down like the Anjanath with the four of you guys, because it was just so hard for us at first to do that. That felt really good. But Joe, Levi, you guys got any moments where you're like, man, that almost like just feels so insanely amazing?
Go ahead, Levi.
I'm trying to think. I just out of video games?
Yeah, maybe it's like a World of Warcraft thing for you. Maybe.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to. There's tons of bosses. I'm sure that my guild and I spent a lot of time fighting, and we finally got down. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I mean, it was the Anjanath part was cool. I don't know, man. Put me on the spot.
How about like a Pokemon thing, like, you know, from way back in the day,
where I was like throw the Game Boy, like I got a Charizard. No,
dude, when I finally caught a Pikachu, it felt real good because it's like such a low % chance to find him in like the Viridian Forest. I was like, I caught him, and I gotta save the game. Like, you ever do that back in those old games where you do something cool, or maybe nowadays where you feel like you have to immediately save it? You're like, I gotta save the game. Like, I beat the boss and I gotta save it.
I had a couple of those moments in Cuphead for sure, where you're just yes, I finally did it,
and then it waits a second to show you the score screen.
You're like scared.
Skip out as a
Cuphead. I gotta finish that game as well.
Yeah, me too.
Damn you, Monster Hunter.
No, we love you, Monster Hunter. That reminds me of beating the Balrog in Lord of the Rings Third Age. It took me so long to beat him, and then you have to fight all these Uruk-hai afterwards, and there's no save point for a while. That felt amazing. Joe, how about you, man? Is there any gaming moments in the past that made you just like want to go like crazy, flip a table?
You know, I've been having fun with Monster Hunter every time you're in kind of one of those nail-biting fights. I really enjoyed that. Closest I've been to flipping a table is when I have those giddy yoo-hoo moments playing Overwatch. You know, when you're in a, say, for instance, a point take or a really heavily contested payload match, if it's a nail biter and you win, it makes you feel very accomplished. Like you are like freaking out, or you get that like magnificent ultimate in the middle of the pit, and you're just like, yes. So, like, I like those moments, and that's when I tend to have the most fun. But
yeah. And then it's alternatively horrible when you have less than a meter to go and your team just can't seem to get it together. And you're like, why can't we move? Somebody just push it. Literally just push with your characters. Just move the thing. Those moments are really good when you can get that team synergy and you can do something cool. Or like with a Reaper, if you like nail a Reaper ult and kill like 3 or 4 people who just don't even know you exist, you're just like, hello. And then you're just destroying stuff as I whip out my headphones because I'm so excited. I love I love those moments. I think that's what makes that game so good. Is like when you get like a Zarya ult with a Pharah ult, when you do that combination together or something like that, and you win it for your team. You're like, yes, I did it. Feels so good, and you don't get anything, for it. You just win the game. You're like, oh, cool, good for me, or good for my team. So, yeah, those are good moments. We'll have to think on that a little bit more because I'm sure there are some better ones, but those are the ones that came to mind first and came to your guys' minds first. But if you guys ever have a question for the show, please tweet it at us at any time. You can tweet at the official account, which is @GoCritical, or you can tweet at me. I'm at JimmyGood013. If you want to tweet one at Joe, you can tweet at
Lever_627. That's Lever just like Beaver, only with an L.
Exactly. And if you want to tweet at Levi, you can tweet at
I am at Levi Fletcher.
Yes, that's just exactly how you think it's spelled.
Levi like the jeans.
Oh, geez. Beaver, L, and Levi like the jeans.
Just like the jeans? Oh.
Yes, tweet at us anytime. The hashtag Critical Podcast.
At my sales job, they're always like, is it Eli? Is it Lewis? I'm like, no, it's Levi, like the jeans. Oh, like the jeans. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, yep, not like my name.
I love Levi's, don't you? They just fit so well in the washes. Oh.
Anyway,
not sponsored. Still not sponsored.
Still not sponsored by Levi Jeans, Canada Dry, or anything else. Canada Dry. That's probably
working on it.
Yeah, I'm constantly contacting their PR people. They're like, like Levi was talking about, you streaming some Shadow of the Colossus. If you want to see us stream anytime, go check out twitch.tv/Critical Reviews. It's a good place to hang out with us and chill and whatnot. But I want to thank a few people. I want to thank This Is Dale for amazing intro, outro music. And I want to thank the one, the only, the glorious Joran Evers for doing pretty much all the art you see here on the show. If you ever want a commission from him, check him out. He's at Niraj. That's Joran backwards 28. So Niraj 28, or at Jade Circle Art over on Twitter. But if you want to support Joran, get something really cool, and support us at the same time, check us out on patreon.com/critical reviews. Even throwing in $1 helps more than you know. We really appreciate it. Keeps this glorious campaign funded. We appreciate it. We're getting close to episode 100, which is next week. It's crazy. It's going to be good. I'm trying to think of something really crazy and fun we can do. But thank you to all of our patrons there. Thank you to everybody who's subbing on Twitch, who's subbing here on YouTube, who's sharing it with friends. If you guys want to help us out, those are the best ways to do it. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Levi. Thank you, boys, for being on. It was fun. It was a pleasure. Levi, thanks for showing up. You didn't have to, but I appreciate that you did, coming in for a little Star Wars talk. So, yeah, thanks, buddy. Anyway, thank you, Legionnaires, for staying. And remember, as always, to adapt and overcome. We'll see you next week. Bye.